Welcome to Bougie and Boring, the spa business podcast that proves success doesn't have to be stressful. My name is Amanda Louisa. I'm a spa owner and a coach, and around here, bougie means high-end and well-paid. Boring means drama-free and simple. Together, that's how you build a spa that's smooth, profitable, and actually fun to run. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get right to it. New year, new spa energy. Welcome back to Bougie and Boring, the spa business podcast where we don't set resolutions, we set focus. It's that time of year when everyone is talking about their resolutions. They're going to eat better, work out, be more consistent on social media, get organized, yada, yada, yada. And honestly, most resolutions, right, we don't keep them going. I personally don't really set them. I have goals and aspirations, but I set them all year round. I don't just wait till the beginning of the new year to do it. Although there is something really special and magical about the very beginning of the year that just helps to kind of reset everything, and it's a really good feeling. So, especially as business owners, we just don't need another thing on our to-do list. We need more clarity, right? What's going to move the needle? What's going to help our spa grow in a way that feels aligned with our big picture vision? And that's what today's episode is all about. So, it's a really good idea to kind of reflect back and see what worked, what didn't, and before you decide what to focus in the new year, you have to look at the past year. And I'm not just talking about like a 6-hour CEO retreat. I mean, a quick, honest reflection. And you can, do this privately. Nobody needs to see what you write down. But if you're being honest with yourself, what do you feel like really worked this last year? Were there any really great, profitable months? And why? Why were they so good and so high? Which team members stepped up? And where do I need to either step up a little bit more or take some steps back? What absolutely drained me? Whether it's time-wise, energy-wise, it drained my financials. For example, if you realize that lash lifts consistently brought in really good revenue, but with low overhead, but maybe this really complicated promotion that you ran in the spring made you just barely break even, or maybe you notice that your membership program is solid, but you need better communication. This is something that I'm working on in 2026, is just really focusing on membership. I started it and I feel really, really good about it, but I want it to be even more crystal clear and even bigger and even better in 2026. So this exercise is really here to help you separate the things worth repeating and the things that you might need to just let go of. And the next thing is to celebrate your wins, the big wins and the small wins, okay? Even if that means that, a small win is you got 8 hours of sleep last night. Or, maybe it's a big win, like you're going on a weekly date with hubby and it's, brought you closer together. So this part is so important and most spa owners skip it. I feel like, you have to pause and celebrate what you did accomplish. Maybe you brought on a new team member, which is always a scary thing to do, but it's such a good reward when you bring on the right team member. Maybe you raised your prices and nobody freaked out. Maybe you just kept the business afloat during a tough month when cancellations were just absurdly high. Or maybe your win is that you just didn't quit when it got really overwhelming. So just take a minute to actually recognize those wins, because the truth is that if you only ever focus on what's next, like us high achievers usually do, you're going to stay in this constant state of busy and never feel like you're getting anywhere. So celebrate the wins because it will build momentum, and it's not just for you. These wins are not just for you. Share those wins with your team too. They need to feel that energy that you have as you head into this new year. It's really, really important. The next thing is to just choose one goal for Q1. This is something that you should have done in the 2026 planning that I recommend that you do in September. I typically do this at the beginning of September every year, and it just really helps me to know where I'm going and know that I am setting up my business to give me a really incredible life and give an incredible life to my employees as well. So I will break the year up into quarters and, make sure that your Q1 goal is aligned with the entire goal for the year. So don't give yourself 20 goals to accomplish. Don't even give yourself 5. Just choose one big Q1 goal and ask yourself, what's the one thing, if it got done, would make everything easier and more profitable? So make sure that it all ties back into the bigger 2026 vision. Maybe it's building out your membership program. Maybe it's training your team to take on more so that you can step out of the treatment room more. Maybe it's tightening up your numbers so that you actually know your profit margin and you're keeping it where it's meant to be. So let me remind you, choosing one focus doesn't mean that you're ignoring everything else. That is not what we're doing here. It just means that you're setting your intention and your energy and your time around one thing that matters most this quarter. And when Q1 ends, you'll pick the next thing for Q2, but make sure that you have recorded yourself and you've recorded all your SOPs, and you've recorded what you are going to, whatever you're going to need so that you can hand it off to someone else or so that it can be repeatable next year. And this is how you create real structure and momentum inside of your business instead of getting lost and scattered in all these resolutions and goal settings and stuff like that. So make sure that you are really setting the right intention for Q1. Put it on a sticky note. I'm all about sticky notes. Put it on a sticky note. Put it somewhere you look every day, whether it's your mirror or your computer or the wall, next to your bed or something. Maybe not in your bedroom, but, somewhere where you're always going to look. The cabinet that holds all your plates. I don't know. It's just somewhere that you're always going to look and you're like, oh, that's right. Focus. I need to focus on this thing. And literally just write it in big letters, put it on your, front desk, your treatment room mirror, wherever you'll see it every day, and let that be the filter for all of your decisions. So if it doesn't support your one big focus, then it is just a distraction and you don't need any more distractions. So remember, a new year, new spot energy isn't about hustling harder. It's about reflecting on what worked, celebrating your progress, and choosing one aligned focus that sets the tone for the entire year of success. So if you want more help mapping out what your one big focus is and making sure that it connects to the bigger, more profitable spa strategy, then book a 30-minute discovery call with me and let's get you going for the rest of this year. All right, my dear, I'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If this episode gave you something to think about, please take a minute to leave a review and share with a spa owner friend. If you're ready for more support like this, I have left the link to my free 30-minute discovery call in the show notes below. I would love to learn more about you and your spa and what it is you are trying to accomplish right now in this season of life. Until next week, peace and love, my friend. I'll talk to you later.